We have covered a lot of fast food history in this channel, much of it centered around holidays and movie tie-ins. We've seen all sorts of different chains and promotions. Today we are going to be focusing on just one, Burger King, at a very specific time, the 2000s. We will be talking about a few other different ad campaigns that were wild. They basically revolutionized viral marketing by using the internet in a way that just hadn't been done before. As always, I am your host Brian. Patreon.com/PixelPortraits is how you can support us here. We have a bunch of new videos over there, exclusive videos, further exploring topics discussed here on the videocast, years worth of other series and videos, my book, The Nostalgia Economy. $5 gets you access to all that and more, helps keep all of this going. So if you like what we do and have the means, please consider supporting us. Best thing you can do to help us out though is like the video, share it, tell a friend, you know the platform. Marketing. In marketing, you hear the term positioning. What's the angle? What is your brand? Where do you fit in the market? Looking at fast food, in the 2000s, Subway was fresh and healthy, an alternative to burgers and fries. McDonald's catered to kids. It was family friendly, though around this time they were facing increased criticism thanks to the documentary Super Size Me. They themselves would have a major brand overhaul in the 2000s, but Burger King chose to focus on the young male demographic. This was reflected in the sorts of promotions the company ran, having promotional tie-ins outside of kids' meals with more youth or adult-oriented movies. Traditionally, the 18 to 30-year-old demo has been a very lucrative group, few responsibilities, lots of disposable income. That's why a lot of companies appeal to them. They're impulsive and they want to spend money. Burger King's decision to pivot towards this younger audience was made after it was acquired by the equity firm TPG Capital. They enlisted the service of Crispin Porter and Bogusky, an ad agency, to rebrand the company and give it a little more edge. That was what Crispin Porter was known for. Their most famous work is probably the Truth campaign from around the same time. They produced a series of anti-smoking ads that employed techniques associated with culture jamming, if you remember that. 12,000 people pretending to drop dead outside of the tobacco company, showing employees of the company the names of all the people who have died because of their product. Very stylistically shot, anti-corporate feeling, which is funny considering some of the agency's other clients like BMW and Microsoft. They actually produced this series of ads featuring Bill Gates and Jerry Seinfeld that was a sort of clapback to the very popular I'm a Mac, I'm a PC Apple ads that portrayed Microsoft as being boring and stuffy. They attempted to inject humor into the brand, which is debatable if they were successful or not. Personally, I feel like they kind of proved the Apple commercials right. But Burger King. One of the ways that Crispin Porter rejuvenated BK's brand was resurrecting a classic mascot, the King. The King first appeared in the 50s as part of the company's logo on its signage. He appeared in animated form and as a puppet in the 1960s. In the 1970s, he was a human and appeared alongside other characters in the same vein as McDonaldland, the Wizard of Fries, Sir Shake-a-Lot. The King fell out of favor, and the company eventually stopped using him in the 1980s. The new King, Crispin Porter's King, in 2004 was dubbed the Creepy King, not only because of how it looked, he wore this mask and a deadpan or static expression, but they also put him in some pretty weird situations. Awkward, off-putting humor was very popular with the base they were appealing to. Think Adult Swim, Family Guy. The King found himself in plenty of absurd and weird places, usually appearing randomly to give someone Burger King, in bed or silently standing outside their window. He also promoted movie tie-ins, which we've looked at in other videos, Star Wars, King Kong. In a pretty wild promotion, the King appeared in 3 different Xbox 360 games. They were backwards compatible with the original Xbox as well. Sneak King, a stealth game. Pocket Bike Racer, a racing game. Big Bumpin', a bumper car driving game. Combat Cars. This one was the best reviewed. The other 2 were pretty glitchy, apparently. But it's pretty crazy that these games were offered physically in-store for just $3.99 with the purchase of a value meal. They feature another Crispin Porter creation as a playable character, the Subservient Chicken. This was pretty amazing. To promote the release of the Tender Crisp sandwich, ads were produced featuring a chicken who was subservient. It would take orders like play music, chicken, just the way you like it, have it your way, popular BK slogan. But the cool thing about this campaign is they also had a website where you could seemingly instruct the chicken in real time. The internet used to be a much different place. Today, companies have entire teams dedicated to viral marketing, but back in 2004, it wasn't a thing. But memes were. Things were not necessarily conceived to be widely shared, but certain content was uploaded, seen, shared, and became a part of internet history. Even BK had a meme, unofficially, the Burger King song, which featured a crudely animated photo of a Burger King employee singing pretty insensitively, to put it one way. This was first uploaded in 2002 and appeared all over the internet. There were dozens of websites that offered the same videos, games. Like I was saying earlier about Tone, the subservient chicken tapped into the same type of feeling as, say, Joe Cartoon, Gerbil in a Microwave, or other Flash animation games you'd find on Newgrounds or eBaum's World. A chicken appeared in a seedy room that feels straight Lynchian to take orders. Edgy stuff, but also clever. Users could log in and literally type a command to the chicken and it would act it out. The technology wasn't there to actually have the chicken respond in real time, but so many commands were programmed and actions acted out that you could tell it to do a lot of things, and it would. It would hop, it could moonwalk, die if you asked it to. Apparently, if you asked it to do anything naughty, it would chastise you, but still, it could do a lot. Word of mouth is the oldest form of publicity, but to utilize technology like this was revolutionary. To have a corporation the size of Burger King create something so weird and for it to take off as it did, over 1 billion visits, it changed everything. They didn't have to actively get their product or ad in front of people. Other people did it for them. Pre-social media, widespread social media, I see something I think is funny or interesting, I hop on instant messaging, MSN, pop on a message board, or fire off an email to a couple friends, and then they share it with a couple friends, so on and so on. That's what happened here. They received a ton of attention on and offline. Mainstream news picked it up, business boomed. It was huge. Crispin Porter produced a few other ad campaigns for BK, like Cock Rock, a rock and roll chicken promoting chicken fries, and Ugoff, a European fashion designer parody. I'm sure there's others I'm missing, but the last one I want to look at here is the Whopper Sacrifice, because of the unique way it used technology, specifically social media, which was still in its infancy. It used to be you would add apps to Facebook. There were thousands of third-party apps, and everyone's Facebook looked different. In 2009, BK launched a Facebook app called Whopper Sacrifice, where users could earn a free Whopper for every 10 friends they deleted. Your friend or ex-friend would get a message telling them they were worth 1/10 of a Whopper. This was seen as a pretty mean campaign, and it was. It invited negativity, which, to be fair, their other campaigns did as well, but this really only invited negativity. It wasn't long for the world, and Facebook removed it pretty quickly. Each of the campaigns we've looked at today relied on a certain buying in of the gimmick. They were each in their own way off-putting, but that was the style at the time. The people they were trying to reach liked it, people reacted to it, people shared it. Burger King saw an increase in business, they embraced the meme, but culture changes. The demographic BK was aggressively targeting was hit hard by the Great Recession, and feeling a cultural shift, they diversified. First, with the BK family, ads with more conventional, or dare I say, wholesome humor, and then move to a focus on the food rather than gimmicks. Still, Crispin Porter's work is a fascinating look at demographics. We're going to be talking about demographics a lot in the upcoming months, and this is a great example of targeting a very specific group of people successfully. I was the demographic and actually worked at Burger King around this time. I'll be talking about that and more over on Patreon sometime in the next couple of weeks, so come on and join us over there. $5 help keep all this going, get tons of exclusive content. Support us if you can. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you remember these campaigns? What are some of your memories from this time? Let me know. Again, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe, share, become a member, buy a book. Everything helps. As always, thank you so much for your interest in this channel, and thanks for watching. See you in the future.